Hello, welcome in everybody. My name is Laura from Tenacious Taurus Tarot, and this is going to be a message for the Twin Flame Collective. And so I got a massive download connected to the twins, and we're going to talk about this, and then I'm going to jump in with the cards. So please feel free to hit that subscription button. Don't forget to like the video, comment on the video, and share the video, especially if you're resonating with the messages that I am sharing. But let's talk about these energies that came through in my meditation this morning. And so we are coming into this gateway of contribution. We all have a contribution. We all kind of have to hold a certain piece of the puzzle together when it comes to leading by example. And so right now I feel we're all kind of recognizing our basic worth. And so when we go through this awakening, when we go through this realization of this connection, we do have to contribute our own individual efforts to the bigger whole, because we are one great big twin flame collective. And so we are here to lead by example. And so we're not here to tell people what to do. We're not here to point out, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. But we really are here to kind of just lead through our example, through living our everyday life. And so what is your contribution to the individual expression that you're here to make when it comes to the impression on the collective? And so honesty is always the best policy. And so when we get to a truthful acceptance of all of our limitations on the journey, then we can recognize what it is that needs to be transcended, and we transcend these negative patterns through sharing our experiences. And so there's a bigger awareness coming through that the whole is always greater than the sum of all of its little parts. And so it's bigger than just you and your specific counterpart. It is a whole twin flame collective here, the sum of all of the twin flames coming together. And so we all have a creative expression that must be honestly communicated and shared. And that is one of the biggest things that we need to overcome, I feel, as divine feminines on the journey, is expressing ourselves, sharing our story, sharing this awakening experience. And so when we choose to withdraw and we allow fear to overcome us when it comes to publicly sharing our story, then we end up losing our individuality in this group environment when it comes to false social circles. And so we're here to share creatively, and we are here to be of service. And so individual integrity is key when it comes to our service mission. And so everything is always supposed to be about the highest good. We're not here to serve selfishly. We're here to serve selflessly. And that's when all of the money will flow as well. And so when we have the awakening experience, we are here to step into and execute our highest potential. And we do this by leading by example through unselfish expression. And so the earth, in its detriment right now, is where we're kind of at that prerequisite of this service mission. And so we do have to be willing to be an example. And sometimes it is at a very high cost of humiliation. A lot of us go through a portal of humiliation in order for us to release the phony facade. And so it really is all about style over substance. And so when we accept the communal actions of the twin flame collective, then we can perfect our own individual efforts. And so there's something I feel coming forward when it comes to superficiality, when it comes to superficial intimacy. And so the twins are here to overcome superficial intimacy. And right now I feel a lot of the masculines are deep in this shallowness when it comes to underestimating the divine feminine. And I do feel they've really overestimated their own ability to continue down the cycle of deception without detection. And so a lot of the masculines are overly reliant on this unfounded confidence, and they didn't recognize the value of their own contributions along with the divine feminine's contributions. And so respect is coming up very loudly in the energies. And so a lot of the feminines have this natural gift to recognize their contribution, to get others to recognize their contribution, particularly. And so we are here to acknowledge that we are here to lead by example. That was very loud. And so we have to have this uncompromising drive to lead. And we are here to be an example for ourselves, for others. And so right now I feel the masculine is in a state of a lot of limitations that need to be transcended. and they can no longer reason with that negative cycle. And so they've really undervalued their self-worth, I feel, by staying stuck in these negative cycles. And so in order to be acknowledged as a leader, they are going to have to understand their talents and their gifts when it comes to their contribution. And right now they're stuck in some type of conditioned limiting cycle is really what I feel. And so the feminines, I feel, are coming into Dharma for their selfless contributions. And a lot of the feminines kind of hold it all together when it comes to this separation. And so the feminine experience the separation, and we kind of have to hold it all together, piece it all together in order for that successful union. The feminine is always the leader when it comes to the proper leading energies that encourage the union. And so right now, it's like the masculine is in this fledgling state, and once the masculine is mature enough, they're going to leave the karmic nest. They're going to be pushed out of the nest in order to take that right action. And so the teacher, the feminine, is usually the teacher, and her contribution is part of this process of sharing the gifts, sharing the acceptance journey, sharing how the limitations were overcome. And so the feminine, I feel, is in this exaltation when it comes to her exemplified teaching role that she's stepped into. And the masculine is in the detriment in this karmic cycle, in like a parent-child dynamic. And so usually the karmic feminine, if your counterpart is male incarnate, there's like a mother-child dynamic going on there. And it's a very disturbing understanding, I feel, that the masculine is coming into, where his authority is now kind of being challenged. And so we're at the end of this cycle is really what it feels like. And so the masculine kind of expects all of these limitations, and it's the energy of like the parent will not let go of the child. So the karmic will not let go of the masculine. And so, hello, Panther. Apparently, Panther would like to make an appearance today. And I'm going to give him a little nudge because he's got to leave the nest. But right now, I feel there's a great awareness of the patterns that the masculine has been playing into. And the feminine already had that gift of knowing when it comes to the patterns. But there's this overwhelming sense of doubt surrounding the masculine because of all of the regret. I feel doubt and regret and uncertainty. Is it the right time? Is it ever the right time? And so there's a lot of regret that I feel a lot of the masculines are sitting in when it comes to those very karmic circumstances. And so right now it's like coming from the womb into the room. And so you think about birthing a baby. We go through labor pains, we go through contractions, and we go through many cycles before we're ready to push that baby out. And so we're on the precipice of birthing these unions, of birthing this new cycle. And so I do feel the masculine is sitting here saying, I know I can contribute, but I don't know if I want to contribute. And so our contribution is needed no matter what. And so whether this is through a public display or just, getting grounded in a union with your individual lifestyle. But really the Twin Flame collective is all about creating a new direction, creating a new earth timeline, and teaching others to empower themselves. And usually the feminine is the one publicly promoting the self-empowerment part of the journey. And usually the masculine kind of sits in the background. And so right now I feel the masculine is being very much drawn to the feminine, to her novel, innovative ideas, and the way she's living her life. And so as the feminine completely finds herself in this state of wholeness, she's going to attract a lot of people's attention. And so I was shown the Seven of Cups surrounding the feminine. And so I feel it's like there's a lot of energies, there's a lot of opportunities surrounding the divine feminine. And it's like the masculine is like the gallery owner of this beautiful art form that the feminine has created. But I do feel a lot of the feminines are getting people's attention right now. And this is all we can do. This really is all we can do, is lead by example. And so if others wish to follow, then that's great. And if they don't want to, then they have free will not to follow. And so we are here to quietly impact the collective. It doesn't have to be loud, but we all are here to do our own part for this shift when it comes to the tribal orientation over time, because these things do take time. And so we have to find our individuality, our innovative contributions, and we have to embrace this and incorporate it into our daily lives in some way, shape, or form in order for the new Earth timeline to fully take hold when it comes to this tribal mission. And so the leadership path is not an easy path. The leadership path is all about recognizing and displaying the mutative process, displaying the uniqueness that you embody. And it can be a very lonely path. Trust me, it is a very lonely path. But this is the path of recognition. This is the path of being invited into your truest form of value, and then publicly displaying that or endorsing that. So we hold all of this value for the future. And right now I feel the masculine is being invited to understand the negative connections around him so he can create that honest self-expression. And so I feel this overwhelming energy of defeat surrounding the masculines, and it's like they're seeking all of these inspirational qualities that the feminine holds, but however, they're still not sure of the role that they play. And so right now I feel this is fueling empowerment. The energies are fueling empowerment, 1111, within the Twin Flame Collective. I also feel there is this gateway portal of recognition. And so I feel a lot of the feminines are in this state of accumulating, whether it's accumulating power, accumulating wealth, but there is this coupling energy of grace and control I feel surrounding the feminine. And the energy is very fertile. I felt fertile power within the sacral chakra, and this is where the feminine is most exalted. This is where we house all of our creativity, is in the sacral. And so I do want to mention, though, money isn't everything. Money certainly isn't everything. And so the money that the feminine manifests, the money that the feminine comes into, is for that recognition. And we do need to recognize wealth has its own problems too. And so we can't be lured by the lustful temptations. We still have to stay grounded in these higher principles. And so the feminine holds the key to the manifesting power of these higher principles, of this higher union. And right now I feel the masculine is in a state of delusion and struggling with all kinds of money problems because they chose the path where money was everything and it really isn't. And now there's this energy surrounding the masculines, I feel, of aloneness. And that's the key when it comes to understanding what is worth investing in and what isn't worth investing in. And so wisdom, investing in truth, investing in wisdom, and investing in harnessing your personal expertise, that will always bring rewards, that will always bring financial expansion. And so right now there's like this collective delegating of all of these responsibilities. And power lies not in trying to be and do everything to everyone. And we can't do it all alone. I know a lot of the feminines do journey the path alone most of the time because of the masculine's vanity in that karmic situation. And so this really is the pathway of service. It's about service. It's about utilizing our talents and our gifts and this wealth for the highest good. And so we're here to redistribute collective wealth. And so wealth, there's enough to go around for everybody. There really isn't a need to be greedy about anything when it comes to wealth. And so when you are selflessly contributing to society, to bettering society, to opening up people to the path, to these new higher perspective, these new higher principles, you will always be rewarded. Whereas the masculine is in the detriment because he chose greed. And greed ultimately leads to self-destruction of all of the moral fibers within the masculine. And so the selfishness to fuel the greed really is what is bringing the masculine down right now. And so I feel the masculine is at this juxtaposition cross of empowerment. He's definitely working with Godhead Hades right now, deep in the underworld, in order to reestablish a firm foundation. And so I feel a lot of the feminines are protected from any psychic attacks or spiritual assaults at this point in time. And the true power lies within the feminine in holding that strong foundation of self. And so the masculine's overconfidence, I feel, has really gotten to him, and now he's going to have to meet a bunch of challenges. I feel there's a lot of competition surrounding the masculine that is threatening the very basis of all of his security. And I felt deep root chakra energies coming through. And so without harnessing your skills properly, we don't have the ability to guarantee security. And so the arrogance surrounding the masculine is really bringing forward a lot of dissatisfaction in the masculine's life. I think there's this almost this feeling being created of superiority. A lot of the masculines think they're superior to the feminine, and we are here to be equal to one another. And so there's like this innate recognition going on that the masculine has been fueling an illusion of superiority when in actuality this is a path of equanimity. And so the masculine, I feel, is facing some type of humility. He's likely having a hard time manifesting any success in his life. And the feminine is in this enlightened recognition of receiving wealth and power in her most exalted state. And so the material success will always be God's will, according to God's timing. And spirituality really is the key to acceptance and this source of God power that we're here to anchor in. And so all manifestations when we step into leadership are essentially here to be positive manifestations. You think of the earth. The earth represents the existential list of recognition and the material successes. And so what the masculine has avoided up until now is no longer unavoidable when it comes to humility. So there's something very serendipitous in the cycle of humility. And so I feel a lot of the masculines are facing some type of existential crisis in order to accept the source of power from within. And so pure unconditional power really is pure unconditional love. And so power is only great when we use it to serve the highest good, the common good. And so when we identify that power and the awareness, then we have to turn it into good deeds. And that's when the Dharma can come. And so there's an alertness, I feel, surrounding the masculine collective right now. There's this energy of accepting death. I was shown the Three of Cups, the Temperance, and the Eight of Wands. And so there's a redirection when it comes to empowerment of humanity taking place right now. And so we're redistributing all of these available resources. We actually are shifting from a 3D world to a 5D world. And this is where we kind of redefine all of these energies so we can sustain this creative work. And so the energy is very fertile right now when it comes to the feminine being exalted. And it's the energy of like pedal to the metal. It's time to hit the gas pedal. It's time to release the resources. And those do get released as we are aligned perfectly with our human design. And so my human design is the cross of alignment. So as the feminine aligns, we have to manage this alignment, and these resources that will be released are not specifically directly for our own use. This is for a higher order of empowering others. And these resources are to support our individual creativity and our charitable activities. And so to be a leader with vision, it is about vision for humanity's future. And so we can't just throw money at anything and everyone. That's a poor investment. And so we do need to protect our valuable life force energy. We do need to protect our valuable finances, because we need to protect ourselves from misuse and from abuse by others, because we need to stay and remain properly aligned in order to bring out the right collective direction moving forward. And so we need to follow our own inner authority. And if we're not properly directed, these resources will not be properly directed. And so resources are always just a catalyst for empowering change in the world. So let's go a little bit further with the cards. Let's see what else needs to come through with the cards today. We're going to jump in with the archetype deck. I think we're going to start off by setting the tone with the archetype deck, and we will dig into the divine masculine first. Look at that bottom of the deck, pioneer. And that is what the twins are here to do. We cannot keep compromising our truth. And so the twins are here to be pioneers. The twins actually have this passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. And so we are recreating new earth, right? We are creating almost like a new Atlantis. We are stepping into the age of Aquarius. And so there is a shadow attribute that needs to be overcome when it comes to this compulsive need to keep moving on. It's like the masculine just wants to keep moving on and never look back. But there's going to be like a light bulb moment We are here to harness our entrepreneurial, creative abilities and to share that wealth with others. And so I do feel the divine feminine is coming into some type of abundance, and the masculine is struggling because he's been hoarding his money, he's been hoarding his emotions, he's been in this consciousness of lack energy and with this obsessive fear of losing wealth, when wealth truly is an inside job. Wealth is delighting and sharing life's riches, right? And so I do feel the divine feminine is just radiating this regalness at this time, and it's really highlighting the shadow attributes of the karmic feminine, who I feel has become very arrogant, is very challenging and very controlling and very demanding. And so liberation, pioneer and liberation. And so the twins did come here to help others too. We're here to free ourselves from all of these outmoded beliefs, and then we're here to shine the light. And it's like the torch being passed. We're the torch bearers to release all of these negative thought patterns, and then to teach others how to release these negative thought patterns. And so we're not here to impose our tyranny over others. We are here to teach others how to liberate themselves. And so we all have free will. So share your message and trust that the right people will find the message. But let's get into it. What messages need to come through for the divine masculine? We got the king. So the queen made an appearance on the bottom of the deck. And now we have the king energy came through on the divine masculine side with the Samaritan. So there's a refining going on here for the masculine. I do feel there's a lot of excessive feelings of entitlement when it comes to the shadow attributes that are being recognized in order for the masculine to become enlightened and to step into some type of benevolent leadership. This is feeling really good. And so I do feel, because the masculine did not appreciate the feminine, there is like a recognition of the help that she is offering others. And this is refining the masculine. And so he can no longer ignore the call, is what I'm feeling. He can no longer ignore the call that the feminine has kind of sent out, because I feel a majority of the divine feminine collective are coming into this aligned state. And so the true divine feminine goddess is the expression of feminine energy through wisdom, through harnessing that natural life force energy and harnessing a proper sense of sensuality, not sexuality. And then the shadow aspect of the karmic is the exploitation of the feminine nature, which is the seductress. And so I do feel there is a major recognition here of the two separate paths that the masculine is needing to choose. And so I just feel like a swapping, like a changing of the guards. So let's go further with the divine feminine side. So the masculine is stepping into some type of leadership role, coming together, understanding his contribution, and overcoming negative feelings of entitlement. I do feel there's a lot of restraint surrounding the divine masculine, but what's coming through for the feminine? The cards don't want to talk for you, divine feminine. Messages for divine feminine, please. All right, I don't know. We'll try one more time. Messages for divine feminine. There we go. We got the Don Juan card in reversed. And so I feel there's like another layer. It's like the dance. I feel like the dance. And so I just feel like, a Knight of Wands energy attached to the feminine with this card. And so I do feel you're here to expose where the karmic uses her romantic attraction for a private agenda. And so I just feel this energy too of the spotlight is on the divine feminine. The spotlight is on the divine feminine, and you're here to highlight positive, seductive qualities. Bottom of the deck, we get the engineer, we get the alchemist, and we get the angel card. And there you are, queen. There you are, queen. And so the feminine is the true alchemist. The feminine is here to expose misuse of power, misuse of knowledge. And we are here to get grounded in a thorough spiritual daily practice. And so the feminine is in this golden wisdom stage, I feel, and transforming all of her goals. The engineer card is saying be mindful of being overly mechanical when it comes to solutions. I feel this energy too of the people that have hurt the divine feminine are now facing their emotional consequences, because the feminine has the ability to give all of this creative energy a practical expression. And that's what the feminine is here to do. So the feminine really does have a talent for creating resolutions to help people solve crises and dilemmas in their life. And so the feminine, I feel, is really harnessing this angelic quality, this regalness, this regal angelic quality. So the feminine really does embody the angel energy, helping those in needs with no expectation of return. And so I do feel there could be some false accusations going on against you, divine feminine, when it comes to the arrogant karmic feminine, the competition with her. And I do feel you're just radiating right now. You're radiating this benevolent leadership, authority, and you are here to protect others. And so bottom of the deck, we get child divine, and below that, we do get the pioneer. And so we have to learn to defend ourselves against these negative forces. I just feel Leo energy. I feel very strong Leo energy. You might have prominent Leo in your chart, but this is about purity. This is about innocence. This is about redemption and restoring that special connection with the divine. And so I do feel release the fear, because somebody here has the Midas touch. And I do feel the energies are saying there is going to be an unexpected choice here. The Lovers, there's always two sides. You can go towards the obsessive passion that harms others. You can go towards selfless destruction and devotion, which is the vampiric energy, or you can choose great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation for the path. But I do feel the energy surrounding the masculine is feeling very depleting. I do feel he's in a state of psychic survival, dealing with chronic codependency. And I do feel the feminine is here to shine a light on those draining life force energies. So let's go a little bit further with the quantum energy oracle deck, and then we will jump in with some cards. And so the vast universe, this is kind of feeling like an Ace of Wands, and then we get professional assistance. And so a lot of the twins are here to build some type of professional business together. We're here to offer assistance to those in need. We're here to kind of shine a light on these higher soul contracts. And so I think huge potential for some type of coming together when it comes to a business venture. So let's get into it with the divine masculine first. We'll get a couple of these out for the masculine. Friends and colleagues, professional assistance, and travel. So I do feel friends and colleagues are a block for the masculine right now. He might need to seek some professional assistance. He might need to seek out a lawyer, a therapist, a counselor. But I do feel it's kind of time for the masculine to pack his bags and ship out for good and travel towards the feminine. So there could be an unexpected event in the masculine's world, asking him to close the door on the past and to step into this higher consciousness. And so the masculine's at a crossroads. He's going to have to harness his right use of power in order to go towards a new cycle of increase. And so it's not all fun and games, is it, right? What needs to come through for the feminine? I just feel the new path has been shown to the masculine, and he's got a choice between two here is really what it's feeling like. Divine feminine, we get back and forth, and we get great achievement. And so get really firm with your intentions right now. No more teetering, no more back and forth. Get very clear with your intentions with the universe of what it is that you want, because I do feel you are coming into acknowledgement, personal achievement. You're likely achieving something very great here. I feel like an Ace of Pentacles. This could be a windfall. This could be an unexpected what's the word I'm looking for? An unexpected inheritance. That's the word. Bottom of the deck, we get transforming these cycles of lack, these cycles of decrease. And so there is a very karmic cycle winding completion. And so it's just kind of time to cross the bridge, to cross the threshold into this new earth timeline. And then we're headed straight towards happy success. So it is all about walking the honoring path. It is all about releasing the fear about a new creative endeavor, because we are on the precipice of a brand new beginning. So allow your higher heart, allow your higher self to guide you, because Spirit is saying, hey, it's time for things to move forward here. So let's get into the tarot with the divine masculine, and let's see what tarot messages need to come through on the masculine's end. Well, there it is, that unavoidable tower, that unavoidable change. And so the masculine is deeply wounded, I feel, right now. And so this has been avoided up until now, and it can't be avoided anymore. This is to understand past abuses from past lives, misuse of power. And it really is the energy of what goes around eventually comes around. So we get brute force, we get Gemini, Virgo energy, and we get the wounded healer. It's Sagittarius on the card. But we do have Chiron in Aries right now. So what other energies need to come through for the divine masculine, please? The world reversed. This is repeating negative patterns, not learning a lesson when it comes to the third party. This is also the masks are off. So we get Mercury and Cancer energy. Saturn is coming through very strongly for the masculine. So it's like, yeah, repeating negative patterns, choosing not to move on, even though the exposure has been there. But I do think it's due to fear. I do think it's due to fear. What's on the bottom of the deck? We get the Magician, and now we get the Tower. And so I do feel there's a major tower. The masculine is probably having a hard time manifesting any successes at this point in time. But the masculine does have all of the tools to open up his heart. But he's going to have to bring in a major apology to the divine feminine for not recognizing her worth or her value is really what I'm seeing there. Yeah, there's an apology due in order here for the divine feminine. And so without, because they didn't recognize the feminine's value. Divine feminine, you've got the Nine of Wands in reverse. And so this is you consciously going into the wound, taking the journey inward with the Page of Swords, and you're on the precipice of victory. And so I kind of feel like a Three of Wands in reverse at play here. I think you've been waiting to receive news. You've probably waited a long time, maybe 9 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 6 years. But I do feel you need to heal from all romantic delusions. And that's what you've done, I feel. You've healed from romantic illusions. You've healed from romantic distortions. And you've turned this into a new creative drive. Or you're about to. And so this is the ending of these karmic soul contracts. This is putting to bed all of the childhood patterns, all of the deeply rooted ancestral patterns, and making a different choice. And so the pivot point, the crossroads, we are about to close out the Aries North Node. We're going into eclipse season, and it is going to be the Virgo Pisces eclipse axis. And so this is a long overdue truth coming to light. And the past is coming back to be addressed when it comes to past pains and past betrayals. And so the truth will always have a funny way of coming to light. But I feel you are going in deep, consciously doing some spiritual surgery when it comes to that core patterning, that core wound from childhood where maybe you've stuffed down your gifts. This is also recognizing the more you share your truth, the more victory you will have. And so if you have been on the fence about publicly sharing your gifts, publicly sharing your twin flame journey, it's time to allow logic to overrule emotions, because we're putting an end to all of these past patterns, and there is still some delays here. So what is the closing message for the twins today with my homemade twin flame oracle deck? What's the closing message for the twins today? Fear is definitely stirring up tension, I feel. So don't give up. It's never too late. Change can happen in an instant. But there's fear about gender roles. And so the twins are also here to transcend all of this reflection when it comes to all of this negative human patterning. And so fear is definitely creating conflict. But when we choose hope, when we choose love over fear, that's when we can learn these soul lessons. And so the twins kind of came here to clean up this past life karma. The twins came here to clear out all of these old wounds from past lives throughout our own family lineage and ancestry that we have shared throughout many, many lifetimes. And so how can you look for the silver lining in all of the negative experiences that you have gone through this life? Because we are at the precipice of making a choice. We are not here to repeat the mistakes of our mothers and our fathers. We are here to allow the healing to commence And so if you have unresolved issues with your mother, with your father, that is likely surfacing within the connection in order for you to clear it. So stop sending mixed signals to the universe, Divine Feminine. Make a choice, clearly decide what you want, and then trust that that manifestation will come to fruition, because we all have the power to co-create our desires. And right now there's a lot of mirror soul going on here. And so the twins do reflect each other's energies to one another. And there's some type of an attachment here when it comes to some programmed beliefs. And so I feel these eclipse gateways that we're going into is going to allow us to overcome these limitations and all of these underlying blocks. And it will be like a massive cord cutting so we can start anew with love. And so right now we're in the portal of some major shifts coming. How can you go into that inner child wound and heal all of these unresolved issues? Because we're here to learn, we're here to study, we're here to teach, and we are here to guide the way. And so any delays right now are a form of finding a solution. Maybe there's a divine detour here, but delays are also saying, hey, I don't think the counterpart is ready. So keep utilizing self-love, Divine Feminine, because as you come into this alchemy of your heart, this energy clearing kind of takes place. And that's what I've got for a twin flame energy update. So if you would like to book a twin soul reading, if you would like to book a personal reading, check out the description box below, guys. I hope this message helped. I hope it resonated. If you would like to go further, like I said, check out the description box below. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.